Greetings and welcome to Maisha Kazidi. We are back with Mordecai Ogada talking about recent events in Kenyan and even global political history. So, Karibu, Ogada.
Thank you. Thank you. There's a lot going on and a lot to talk about.
Yeah. But maybe we can just start with a personal example,
Yeah.
which was that I was really upset about, I'm always upset about my students sort of looking for papers
Yeah.
and paying other people, especially because these papers are usually terrible. They're terrible. And I posted it on Facebook, and some of the people who write those papers, who are paid to write those papers,
Yeah.
they were complaining that, sort of almost like, why are you not respecting us as also intelligent? In fact, that's the word they were using. They were suggesting, I don't think they are also intelligent because how come they can write papers and the professors accept them? It means they're also intelligent. I don't know. Your thoughts? It was so weird.
Because first of all, they are intelligent because they've worked out a way of making money without doing input. I
Yeah.
mean, they found a shortcut to making money.
Yeah.
But the fact is, they are not working. If
Oh,
they were
they
working,
are. See, they're putting in time.
no. Their working should be instead of writing for one year student, you should register in one year's class, do a thesis, get your undergraduate or master's, pass your exams, contribute to society through that field of expertise, maybe even register for a PhD, do the research, write a thesis, become an expert. That's work, that's growth. But writing a paper for maybe a politician wants to get his degree in time for the elections, that's not work. You're not producing. You are compiling.
Yes.
You are
Yeah.
compiling and using digital tools to compile something. You are assembling. You're assembling something. So you're cooking up something. You're not producing anything. And it's you get the money. And so why they think they should be respected is that for them the objective of work doing anything is to get money, and he is getting money.
So
So
I
why is
should
it they are
respect him.
respecting me yet I'm making money? I could even be making more than her, but she
By the
doesn't.
way, and they are.
Yeah, and they are. So they're looking at work in a quantitative way. They're looking at productivity in terms of not what he has contributed to whatever field of expertise. But I finished 6 master's theses last month,
And they all passed.
and they all passed, and they all paid me their 500K. So I've even made 3 million.
Yeah, that's good money.
So,
Why
so
lie?
I'm successful. Why can't Wandia respect me? What's wrong with her? She's talking badly to me.
How does that work? I
Because
because
yeah,
if for example they have been paid to write a paper for my class. See, that's disrespect to
yeah,
me.
yes,
So
and to
why
the
does
cost.
my respect matter to them?
I think that they reach a kind of crisis point, because what I know about this system is that these people are recruited by faculty, by their professors.
Yeah.
Professor sees student X in his class is really bright. By the time he or she is graduating, the professor is the one who
Oh,
recruits them into this work. All right, they've never worked.
ew.
By that time they're basically a kid. They've just graduated. They've never worked. So they're recruited into that, and there's a hierarchy how they work, and they slave up the ladder until you become what is so-called senior writer.
Yeah.
And by that point, they're sort of wondering, like, I'm really bright. I've written 10 PhD theses in the last 3 years.
And I don't
But
have a master's.
I don't have recognition. There's no master's thesis with my name on it. There's no refereed publication. I've cooked up 50 papers, but there's not one with my name on it. Spirit.
Oh, that is so tragic.
It is very tragic. And some of these, not some of these, all of them were genuinely really bright kids.
Oh, that is so tragic.
Yes, I've never written anything. Imagine me writing 100 publications, but I've never written any as Mordecai.
In my own name.
Yes. None of them, they're all in press, being cited. But none is being cited as Mordecai Ogada 2021. They're being cited as someone else. And
but
that
the person,
lasts much longer than the money. You got your 300K, you got your 500K, you got your 2 million, you even bought a nice BMW car.
Yeah.
But some of these people have even been recruited into universities and are lecturers, and I'm the one who wrote his thesis. He's maybe even been promoted to VC or DVC, you know. Or he's been appointed a PS, and I'm the one who wrote his thesis.
That's such a bad existence. It's not a
It
good
disturbs
existence.
the human spirit. It does, yeah.
Yeah. That's, oh God, that is so. But the person who is at fault here is that professor who recruited them.
Yes, yes.
That's
exactly.
the pimp.
Exactly, that's the pimp. It's like sorry to use the example, but it's like child sex trafficking.
It is. It is because the professor
yeah.
has used a vulnerable student and recruited them, and the student probably thought, this is just work or whatever. They didn't know better.
Yeah. And you see, it's like you recruited this young underage girl into prostitution, and years later, she's made money and all that, but she wants life to be somebody. And she might live in a nice luxurious house, have wonderful designer clothes and everything, but yeah, that because you dehumanized that person very early in life, and now they're troubled by not being acknowledged as, by seeing their humanity ignored later in life. And it's very sad. It's very sad. So that's where a lot of this comes from.
That one needs therapy. Freedom and therapy.
It does need therapy. You see how even in our politics, how a lot of the nominated members of the various various legislatures, the nominated, especially the female ones, you see how we know how they get recruited. Now, later on in their term, they want to be respected as an MP, and they run into trouble. What do you mean you want respect? We all know how we recruited you. We all know why we nominated you. Now suddenly you want to be treated as an MP. And you see them, they get whatever degazetted if they try. If they suddenly want to try behaving like genuine MPs.
I think we need to say for Kenyans that the principle on which you're recruited into something matters. I think there's a way in which Kenyans think it doesn't matter, but it matters.
Yes, it does.
Further ahead is when it starts to make sense.
Yes, yes. How did you get into this?
How did you get here?
How did you get here? You got a fake master's, you faked your PhD. It will matter when you now start posing as a professor. Are students coming to ask you questions? You got a fake MD. Soon there's a sick child on your operating table. a baby that cannot even tell you my liver is paining or what is paining. You are told, daktari, mtoto anakufa.
We have a problem with long term, eh?
Yeah. It's lack of long-term vision. Imagine you faked an engineering degree. Now you've designed a bridge, and you're seeing that it's swept away. It's swept away with people in the rains. Or those buildings that we hear collapse, some in Kiambu, some in Umoja, wherever.
Because there was a time I was even telling, but of course they didn't hear. I was telling my postgraduate students, if you people don't do this work and you get somebody else to do it, fine. You will even graduate.
Yes.
You will never forget. You will never forget.
It will come back. And the worst thing is that they even forget. I know of one who's faked things like that and gotten into a top university in Canada as a lecturer. And 2 years down the line, I think it's their review cycle there where people are reviewed for promotion or tenure or whatever. People say, this guy is not supervising anything. He's not publishing anything. He's not getting any grants. What is he doing? And you know, the thing is, in Kenya, in our culture, our corporate culture, if you get into government, if you sit and do nothing, you are fine. You are fine. You get into our universities, the step you need to get is to get employed as permanent and pensionable. But if you sit there and do nothing, in fact, you actually end up being preferred for many positions because they say, that one will not give us trouble. He won't bring any radical ideas here. Just you need a VC who will keep things cool. Make that guy the VC. Make that lady the VC. But you go out there, suddenly there's a committee that are appointed to look at, okay, it's 2 years since we appointed Mordecai. How many publications has he done? How much grant funding has he raised? How many students has he supervised? And it's like, there's nothing. They start wondering, hey, what's happening?
But some would argue that maybe I can fake my papers, but now when I get into the position, I can do that kind of work. Why doesn't that argument hold? I mean, what is it that blocks us when we enter like that from developing the way we think we can? Because I think, hey, this thing is so sick.
That's where the problem is. Because if you and people forget about the origins or why you're doing this. Because if you do, if you get a fake degree, so you can qualify to run for governor, you'll be fine. Because there's no point at which these useless MBAs are used by these governors. They don't even need it. The problem is if you get a fake medical degree, then you want to be a doctor.
You want to be in the profession you're saying,
You get a fake engineering degree and then you want to build bridges and buildings. And that's where people forget. And so many times Kenyans forget and start believing their own hype. Like now you see the bizarre case right now where we have the executive and the legislature pointing fingers at each other over corruption. Someone's actually pointing a finger at someone. You are corrupt because I bribed you and you misused the money. As in,
Hey.
Huh?
Hey.
I know you are corrupt because I'm the one who bribed you.
That's just amazing.
It's shocking. But people actually come to believe. You find these guys even in universities and they believe themselves to be professors. They believe themselves to be lecturers. It's just really sad in cases like where medical degrees, they believe themselves to be doctors and they are sick people in their hands. That's the saddest thing.
I think there has been a corruption of work, where people are not understanding. I mean, people are confusing the performance with the actual work in situation.
Yes.
So you can pass all your anatomy exams and what, but when you're sitting with a live patient on the operating table, it's a new ball game. I think Kenyans don't see the difference between the two.
Yes,
they actually think it's the same thing. What is in my textbook and what is on the operating table are the same thing.
Same thing. And then you see, we don't regard, because work, we regard it as packages, a box here, a box here. Work is a continuum. When you're a student, work is studying, doing your homework.
Yes, yeah.
You graduate, work is now you get into university. Work in university is do your assignments, do your exam, you graduate as an engineer. Now work is building bridges.
It's not a separate work you're doing.
No,
you're continuing what you are doing.
Yes, people get leakage in high school because they think the objective is to get into university. And then they get into university, they fake these degrees, because they fake these assignments because they think the objective is to get a
grade.
Yeah, a grade and ultimately a degree. And then with that degree, they think, now I've made it. There's no more work. Now I just apply to be appointed a doctor at Hospital X. And now I just earn the money. They forget there's the work of now treating people and getting them to recover. And that's where they fall short.
That's
why the so-called clever ones, finish the degree, then they go into admin. Now, instead of being a doctor, I am officer in charge of procurement at KEMSA. Or instead of being a lecturer, I'm now an MP or a CEC.
Let those ones go. Me, I don't mind. The problem is these ones who stay in the system.
Those are the ones who are in trouble. They are in trouble. They're in deep trouble. And they are the ones who forget and start wondering, why doesn't Wandia respect me?
And I wasn't even thinking of them, by the way. I wasn't even talking about them. I was talking about my students.
You are talking about your work.
And my work. What does that?
Your work is a teacher.
Why did I take it personally that it's about them?
Oh, the trouble is within them. It's not about you. They're troubled.
Oh.
They're troubled.
Oh. No, that's a deep psychological problem. How?
I don't know which book it's in, but I remember some line from a book that old people fidget whenever dry bones are mentioned.
Oh yeah, it's one of those by Nigerian.
Yeah, those West African, right? Yeah, that's it. You get troubled, and you see, pretense that you're okay is a temporary thing. You can succeed for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, but it does come around. You will get troubled. You will get troubled. Yeah. You never know where the trouble will come from. Imagine you've even believed that you're now a professor until you applied. You applied with your fake papers to be recruited into a university somewhere abroad, and they believed you.
And they
recruited you.
I'm sure the person thought, hey, this thing actually works.
No, nimefika. Yeah, this thing works. Nimefika. I've made it. Then you're given a nice office, nice salary, nice perks, everything. Now work. You are in trouble.
Wow. It's like even my students thinking that the work that they got from AI is what is in their heads, that they can't see the difference.
No. This thing went from the computer.
This
thing went from the computer to your paper. It never entered your head, by the way. It went from the comp to your paper. There is no point where it passed through your head.
The psychosis is they think that I will believe that this is from their heads.
Imagine. It's like the way we hold. If you look at driving school, that card called a driving license, it cannot make me safely operate a motor vehicle. It is my knowledge of driving and traffic rules that makes me drive safely. That paper is just a certification or an indication, something to show someone. But people buy them. If you buy that thing and it gets to a point, someone gives you a truck, able drive, peleka gari Naivasha. Then you're like, eh?
That's a deep.
It's a malaise, deep psychosis.
Yeah.
It's a psychosis.
Yeah, really that one. And since they are clever enough to write papers, they'll find out what that means.
Yeah. Then AI can tell them what psychosis is.
Yeah. Oh, gosh.
They can look for solutions how to cure psychosis in AI.
And you were telling me even their political bloggers, it's the same thing. They write for politicians, but they want to be considered
as political analysts. You want to be considered a blogger, an analyst. You want to be considered a scholar, but you're just a blogger. But why is it insulting to be called a blogger?
When that's what you do.
That's what you do. That's what paying your rent. That's what buying milk for your baby. If you are doing any job, I've never seen a farmer ashamed of being called a farmer. A farmer looks very proud walking in his muddy gumboots. He's from his farm, very happy. I've never seen a mechanic embarrassed at being called a mechanic. He's very proud in his greasy overalls. But why does a political blogger get embarrassed and annoyed? They often get very annoyed when you say you are paid to say that. You should tell you, yes, actually I'm well paid. I was paid 50K last week. I'm being paid another 50K today. Be proud of it. Be proud of it, unless you are troubled by that psychosis. But they keep trying to make things. Why do you try? I mean, something like, if we talk about the economy, there's a famous line someone said, you can't rig the economy. Imagine being paid. We know the economic difficulties we go through in Kenya now. Then you are paid to say Kenya's economy is actually really thriving now. That's bullshit. But if someone tells you are paid, you get annoyed. You should say, yes, I'm well paid. Why are you trying to tell us? Why is it important to you that we believe you hit our pockets? Do I believe you or my pocket?
Although maybe what the political their paymasters are buying is the authenticity. So if you lift the lid, then what is the MP paying for?
There's nothing left to sell.
Yeah, because it's not the words.
Yeah,
it's not the words that the MP is paying you for. It's for the.
He's buying your reputation.
Yes, reputation.
He's buying your reputation, and that's why people will do genuine work in whatever field. Some are economists, some are scholars, some are lawyers, and all that, until you become a professor or a name, recognized name. Then at that point you have a name that someone can pay. Now, if I pay this guy to say this guy is a professor of law, I can now pay him to say this is legal. Or Wandia is now a professor with X number of years in education. I can now pay her to say CBC is good. And the people who doubting CBC will shut up. They say, hey. Yeah. I can now pay Mordecai Ogada to say carbon trading is good and saving our world. Bas.
But it shows the desperation of capitalism. They have nothing now.
Yes, capitalism, its hollowness is beginning to show. They have nothing. They have nothing except to pay people to say certain things. I mean, you produce a bad food stuff like corn syrup, then you pay people to say it's good. You produce harmful any harmful type of effluents, etc., then you pay someone to take a picture of some trees you've planted in Kenya to say it's good. And all these, and that was even the foundation of our current Environmental Management Act in Kenya. You build a harmful factory manufacturing chemicals somewhere near a river, you get an environmental scientist, Mordecai Ogada, you pay him to do the EIA and say it's good. And now the river is polluted, but the factory is protected by Mordecai's reputation.
Because what? They no longer want to use guns. Actually, that's what I was going to ask. Why not just set up the factory and say, we don't care?
No, in fact, if people were honest, they would do that. Honestly, if people were honest, they would do that.
Yes,
but,
so why this scheming and why this need to go behind whatever? And you have, like, if it's Americans, they don't care what we think. It's rather obvious. Yeah. Why not just do what they do and get on with it and stop all this looking for Ogada to now do a nice video? Hello, everyone.
Yeah. It's because one unintended consequence of tech development is an uninformed population. People know.
Oh, yeah.
They like smartphones and stuff were intended to advertise things to us and this kind of things, but they can sell us all sorts of nonsense through the blogs, ads, and everything. But between that, truth also squeezes in there.
Oh, yes.
Squeezes and comes out. Suddenly, someone can get on this smartphone and see what Wandia is saying. As they are looking at your bullshit about education, they'll stumble on Wandia and they say, hey. So that has brought self-doubt. Because one thing about the imperialists of yore, where they used they never had self-doubt. As in, the King of England would stand and say, I'm the King of England and Emperor of India and China, and and he never once doubted that he's actually, that villager in India is actually his subject. But these days, you say, people will laugh at you. At you are what?
You say, where? And then there'll be a comedy video from India saying,
yes.
Hello.
I mean, even goes to countries where he's the titular head of state, like Australia, and people are there telling Kwenda. He's the titular head of state even of Canada, but if he goes there, there are people saying, Kwenda, we don't want you. So that's now made them invest so heavily in narratives, because we desperately need to have this guy who's got 5 million followers to pass my message, so that his 5 million followers see it's coming from their hero, and then hopefully they'll believe it.
Oh, wow. Hey.
Hopefully they'll believe it because so and so says it.
It's so amazing how this thing is dying and Kenyans still worship it. And it's the evidence is in our faces.
We have that neurosis, and in some of our conversations before, we said this, that Kenya was the imperialist's dream. People took in imperialism and internalized it and admired it, still admire it to this day. So we had a whole generation in Kenya who were selected by the imperial colonialists as, this one, take him to school, take her to school, she'll become this, he'll become this, and all that. And these are the group they groomed and who took over after independence. Now, the children of that group, this is our generation, sort of our age now, the Gen X. We grew up admiring these people and seeing their success in the imperial castle.
Mm.
You remember these people were selected, these people like Matiba and these other people were becoming ministers at 30, age 30.
Yeah,
Permanent
28.
secretaries at age 25. Director of company X at age 24, 26,
What did
28.
they know? They didn't know anything.
We've been 26. What did you know? What did you know? They were put in huge offices, given huge posts and big cars and everything. And they enriched themselves thoroughly through these positions and held these positions for 40 years. For 40 years. I mean, someone, if you look at like, and many of them never held jobs outside the palace. Someone like the late Kibaki came from Makerere to Kanu to cabinet. Some of these people, their first jobs were as minister.
By the way, yeah?
And later on, eventually became president, vice president and president. So then the generation who are kids of these people, so they saw success comes only from the palace. But by the time our generation now have grown up, that palace is crumbling.
Mm.
The walls are cracked, the windows are shattered. The old emperors in England are decrepit and sick, and are anachronisms even in their own country. And suddenly we are clinging to something that doesn't exist the way it existed for our parents. And we are steadfastly, most of us are steadfastly refusing to step outside the door of this crumbled palace and make a life out there.
Pitch a tent and do something else.
Pitch a tent, do something else.
Yeah, while you figure out what you want to live in, you can have a tent. You can camp.
Yeah.
You can be okay.
The sugarcane or cotton plantation has collapsed. Can we now try growing millet or vegetable to eat? And look at the cash crops in Kenya. I recently saw someone saying that the government is currently working very hard to introduce coffee in certain parts of Western Kenya. So grow food crops. Find something else, do something else. But that's the reason why in Kenya we are looking for, okay, there's this problem. What does the government say? What does the government advise? Or what does the Gates Foundation say? Or what does the US government say? Or what is the UK government saying? And this is someone thinking of what it should grow on his land.
In fact, now that kind of brings me to, hey, this thing that I was telling you I've seen among young people. Their parents are telling them to rush through university, and graduate quickly. And even before they saying where they should start their masters, this is a 22-year-old who has never worked.
Not even done an internship.
And then when you ask them, and then what? They say, oh, I don't know. My parents will tell me.
No. Yeah.
What is that? Why are there parents who actually feel that this is helping their children?
It's because those parents are so intellectually lazy as a result of never having to make decisions for themselves. I mean, literally, up to very recently, maybe even still goes on, like if you do your high school and you get an A, you are going to do medicine. You're going to do medicine. In fact, you get an A and you say, I want to study the arts. People look at you, what's wrong with you? I want to study music with an A. What's wrong with you? I want to be a writer with an A. And you see, so they had boxes prepared. So you jump from one box to another box to another box, no time outside boxes. So we're ending up with these 25, 26, 27-year-old babies who have been told everything by their parents, and the parents, they push them so fast that some are graduating at 22.
Yeah. See, that's what I'm telling you.
Yeah. Graduating at 22, and then they are not ready for anything, any part of life on their independent life. The parents actually push them into postgraduate studies as a way of avoiding job seeking or internship or working. They are going into 1 year's master's class to avoid working. So they go in there and the parents just register for you, just
Something.
register for literature or something, yeah, or MBA. So they go and register. And the truth is, you might ask some of them, they tell you, my dad told me I should do this MBA. Or my mom told me I should do this MBA.
But why are parents doing this?
They are terrified because they never struggled. They are terrified that their kids won't make it. It's like a bird that has never flown, has always been fed in a cage. It now has chicks. It's terrified to see its chick trying to fly and maybe falling down and struggling again and learning to fly. They're terrified of that. They're terrified of that. And they keep these kids even living at home. Some of them have even own businesses, but they won't take in these kids to do internships.
Yes, that is it. I don't understand it. I had a student who, the mother had a business and she was sitting at home doing an MBA to start a business.
Yes.
Then I asked her, why can't you just go to your mom's business and learn from there? And the parents didn't want me to hear.
No. In fact, they can even question you. Why are you telling us to do that when you think we don't have the money to take her for masters? We've got the money.
They're paralyzing their kids.
You're paralyzing these kids
They're
completely.
Paralyzing their kids.
They're paralyzing their kids completely, and they're refusing. We are refusing to let them grow and learn, because growth, learning, and work are actually just the same thing.
Yes. Yeah, they are.
If you don't work, you don't grow. If you don't learn, you don't work. It's even as parents, like we were saying the other day, as my child grows up, I'm growing.
Yeah.
What a parent of a 10-year-old is, by the time my kid grows to 18 as he is now, I need to also have grown to become the parent of an adult. I'm no longer the parent of a kid. He's applied for his ID. I'm now the parent of an adult. Still a parent, yes, but I'm the parent of an adult. And later on, when he's 30, I'll need to be a parent of a 30-year-old. Maybe even now a grandparent of a 2-year-old or something. So I have to grow. As he grows, I have to grow. But these people, because they never grew, when you have childish parents,
they are still at 18.
Yes. Woe unto you if your dad is 50 and his dad got him a job at 20. Your dad is a child. Kwanzaa is now a managing director and he never once wrote a job application letter. And he's now a managing director.
So he can't let the kid work.
He's still a kid himself. He can't let his kid grow up. He's still a kid.
Oh dear Lord.
And I want you and think about the top leadership of this country.
Yes.
How many of those people have actually written a job application letter?
Never. Never. Or woken up 8 to 5.
Yes.
To be paid by somebody else.
Yes, working as a teacher, accountant, I don't know, whatever. Working for his rent, working for his food, his bills. These are children. Anyone who hasn't done that, you are a child. I'm sorry. You can be 70 years old, but you're a child.
Whoa. Oh, dear Lord. So sorry, I know I'm just going. So it's like this parent who is saying, stop thinking about your career, go and register for your master's immediately. This parent is still when the kid insists, in the parent's mind, the parent is still a standard 3 parent.
Yes, he's a standard 3 parent.
Not a parent of an undergraduate student.
No, he's not a parent of a young man or a young lady. He's a parent of a kid.
Oh, Jesus.
He's the parent of a kid.
Oh.
That's why he can even own a big company, but he's saying this kid is still too small to go and work in my factory. And he's the owner. This kid cannot work in my business. He's still too small. She's still too young. Because he's still the parent of a kid.
They didn't grow as the kid was growing.
No, he never grew. He never grew. He was, you see, he was appointed because of who his dad was. He was appointed to a senior position at age 25. This is now 40 years later. The job he holds now is one that grew from that first one. So he's 65 now, but he's still suckling from the bottle
of his parents.
Yes, how will he win his own child if he's still suckling from the bottle of what his dad gave him in 1968 when he was 25? How will he win his 30-year-old kid today if him at 65 is still suckling from the bottle?
Oh God, this is just so depressing. Because now I've remembered we even linked this to what Yvonne was saying, yeah? Yvonne Owor, about how people are still suckling from colonialism as if the thing didn't die in 1963.
Yeah. We are suckling from a teat of a dead carcass.
And now you've reached 70 and you've brought in your kid to do the same.
It's like royal families. Why do you think those scions of royal families are abnormal people? He's never applied for any job. He's never worked. His 80-year-old father is suckling from the lineage from 1400s. How will he get wind?
That's a decadent.
Imagine at age 80, you can even be 70 and someone's calling you a prince. A prince is not, it's...
By the way, Nanisa.
Yeah. When mzee ati prince, you are being called a prince, your son is a prince, your grandson is also a prince. How can that work? It's abnormal. But obviously in hereditary monarchy, that flies because those are abnormal people. It's an abnormal system. But in the real world, you are at 60 something, you are in office because of whose son you are, not because of any of skill of yours. How will your son or your daughter get wind from this thing? You've come to see that your abnormal existence, you've come to see it as normal. And it isn't.
This is a deep distortion.
It's such
of generation, maturity, growing and parenting.
Yeah.
How I can't.
And even these people who've occupied these positions for decades, they've never once ever taken their kids to come and see what goes on in that. I mean, let's say you might be a minister or even a PS. Can't you get someone, let's say you're a minister of agriculture. You get someone in cereals and produce board. Can you give my kid an internship to see how these cereals boards work? They never do that. Never do that. In fact, they think their duty is to shield their kids from that kind of dirty stuff. And these kids grow to age 30, 35, whatever, and they're babies suckling. They are babies.
Because, you know, I keep wondering, like when I look at these people being told, oh, go do your masters, and the parents are so connected, I'm like, Yani, your parents, in fact, I think we were talking about this when we were talking about Charlene, Madame Charlene. That woman doesn't need daddy.
No.
She just needs to write a CV nicely and send.
Yes.
Daddy doesn't need to call anybody.
No. In fact, someone will just ask, is this
the one?
Is this that
one? And then when they say, so how come she still needs daddy to take her to the governor's conference? What is this?
Haven't you seen court cases involving grandsons of the late Moi unable to pay a hotel bill? Unable, you know, some of these things you wonder, like these are families that have had all the opportunities you could ever. I mean, you know what it means to be the son, relative, whatever, of even a minister in Kenya. It is privilege and access to opportunities, serious access to opportunities in business, employment, etc. But you can end up in a position where if the teat runs dry, this guy can't even buy shoes, can't do anything. And this is, it's a disaster. And it means, like what we are saying, it means like we have to face collapse, then grow from collapse.
Because, you know, that's the philosophy of CBC, by the way.
Yes.
That the government is telling you how to take care of your children. And
yes,
people are not seeing the problem.
Kenya government even tells mothers how long to suckle your baby exclusively before giving him uji. There's actually a government document that says exclusively breastfeed your child for, I don't know if it's 6 months or whatever.
6 months.
Yes. And we know that in nature, some mothers have less milk than others. Some kids have to get weaned early. Some kids, you have to start with bananas, mashing bananas, whatever. This is a reality. You have to start with uji. There are some kids even whose mothers would die when they're very young. They'd start being given uji, I don't know at what age, or cow's milk. This is the reality. But you're saying, government says X, we need to do XX. As in, government is even in that intimate space between a mother and a baby. Yani government has entered in between a mother and baby.
And we have let them.
And we have let them, and we accept that.
Why are you allowing the state to come in that space? Then parents were like, oh, we are so flattered. Oh, yeah. Now the teacher is telling me what to do over the weekend.
Yes. I am parenting exactly as the Ministry of Education said.
Oh, there's a manual. They think it's a complete, we don't trust our instincts then.
No, we don't. We don't. Your instinct might say, let me go with my kid, cycling with my kid, or I go play football with my kid. But CBC said we should go to the nearby shopping center and collect bottle tops to make a tambourine or that nonsense they do in CBC. So there we are outside a bar with my kid, who I have been training since he learned to walk. I've been training him not to pick things on the ground because they are dirty. But now I have gone to Karumaindo bar with him and we are picking bottle tops.
Because mwalimu amesema.
Because CBC, because amesema. Because Kipsang said.
No. I can't believe Kenyans think that this is normal.
We are an imperialist team. We only need something to be said by A, our government, B, by World Bank or those Bretton Woods institutions, C,
or a motivational speaker.
Yes, by the UK or US governments, or by a white person. then we'll be fine.
Yeah, people have grandmothers, great-grandmothers, aunties. They've been raised by these people for decades, generations. But you can be told by a teacher what to do to raise your child. What were you getting the child for then? If you can't, you don't have a say.
Yeah. You in fact you are the one who has denied your say. You have refused your say as a parent. As in, you as a parent, you say, mimi ndio mwisho wa kusema. When you even talk to a teacher, you do not talk as equals. You know, mimi ndio nilimzaa huyu. So we are not equals here. I'm telling you this as his dad or as his mom. This is what I think. But you say, hey, the teacher said we should. I've got even colleagues who are saying, like, this weekend has been, we've not rested. We were told, my kid came home with a list of homework things to do. I said, na wewe unafanya? Literally.
I cannot do. I'm a teacher, and even me, it's my kid, I cannot do. No. I'm a parent at home.
This CBC is crazy. The homework my kid
teacher
came
is not going to tell me what to do at home. I'm sorry, no.
Yeah. Like my kid came last week with so much homework, even we struggled, but we managed somehow. And it's like, no.
No. I don't know why Kenyans are accepting that. I don't understand it. And because ironically, if a teacher, because now we have the other problem, if a teacher notices that the child has some behavioral problems, the parent refuses to listen. This is such a distortion of parenting and teaching.
Reality.
That's it.
Yeah, it's a fracture of our social norms. Which has brought in my child's life, the teacher is important, and I am important, but we are not peers.
If we are different. We are doing different things.
We are different, and we are at different strata.
Yes.
I was his dad before this guy was ever his teacher. And I'll still be his dad after he finishes from that school.
Yes.
So we are not equals. If teacher says this, then daddy says this. No, those are not equal things. Dad first, mom first. But now we've gotten to a point where teacher is actually ordering both the kid and dad.
And the dad.
We are both doing teacher's instructions, me and my kid. Excuse me. Me and my kid are both following teacher's instructions. Imagine.
And what does that say to your kid about you? You see,
you are useless.
Kenyans are not serious.
Tell the kid you are useless.
You're telling your own child that you're useless.
Yes, you are showing him. Because as we know, those of us who are parents, we know what you tell kids doesn't matter. It's what you show them.
Yes.
You can tell a kid, stop making noise, but if he sees you making noise, that instruction never. The kids follow what you show. Kids learn from what you do, not what you say. The kid has seen a teacher order you to go pick bottle tops, and you went and picked.
Hey. And not once did you go to the teacher and say, I know this is homework you've given, but I cannot do this.
Yes.
Or I've decided, instead of going to the bar, I'll give you this instead. So you use this instead.
Yes. And
you negotiate.
I mean,
but actually, oh God.
And these are things you start from the beginning. And I've had to do this with a kid who is not my kid, but I support the kid. And I told the teacher, like, look, between you and me, you are like 20, the teacher is like his late 20s, less than 30. I told him, I'm over 20 years older than you. You cannot give me homework. You cannot. And I asked him, these things you want this kid to go and do with your guardian or whatever, are they coming in exams? No. And those that come in exams, will I be welcome to do the exam with him? No. So it's a waste of his time and mine. Teach, do your job, teach him what you're supposed to teach him, give him the homework he's supposed to do. And I told him, you know, I live in a rural area. I told him, there's so many of your kids in your class I know are being brought up by their shows. Even their parents are not around. What are you expecting from these ones?
By the way, I asked about that. I asked who said that everyone lives with their parents.
Yeah. Their kids in rural Nyeri where I live, many kids are being brought up by their grandmothers. The grandmother who's busy out working the fields to get money for fees or uniform or whatever. And you are now, she might not even speak English. You are now sending the kid with instructions for the grandmother.
That's Madarao.
There's a time actually
so
I had
Madarao.
I had a bunch of about 20, 25 kids from around the village coming to my place because they needed to pick. They were instructed, go and come with the beans or leaves of coffee. There's no coffee around here other than me. I planted some ornamental coffee trees. So the kids, I told them, come and pick. And I wonder, what kind of teachers are these? Where has he seen coffee in Bagoret to tell kids to go and come with coffee beans? But because it's written in a book from KICD. Now imagine kids in Maraland. Is there coffee in kids in Marsabit? A kid in Merile? You're trying to go. It's stupid in the extreme. It's that same thing of swimming on soil.
Yeah.
It's stupid in the extreme. But it only flies because we allow it to.
God, that's just so depressing. That is so depressing.
It's really sad. And the kid, and that's why you see the difficulty. That's why when we talk about political change in Kenya, it won't come from our generation.
Or millennials, it looks. Huh?
No. Someone who can't stand up to an ECD teacher cannot stand up to a minister or a president. That's the fact of the matter. If you cannot even stand up to your kid's ECD teacher, you will not stand up to the MP. Wow. Even some of these misdeeds by teachers in schools, like that one of Alliance and all that. Can you imagine how kids did it happen to over the 26 years? This guy was 26 years. But no one stood up until now.
And there are parents who tell their daughters, I don't know about the cases of sons, but there are parents who tell their daughters, no, you just finish and leave.
Yeah, just finish.
And they don't realize what that moment
is what matters.
Is what matters. It's not whether they get the paper on. And what is this obsession with papers? If you stand up for your kid then, even if they don't get that paper then, you've done so much more than a degree will ever give them. But there are parents who say, no, just keep quiet. You graduate.
In fact, the term they use, just keep your head down. Keep your head down. Don't get noticed. You know, in fact, in a way, it's telling the daughter or the child, the problem is you got noticed. So keep your head down. Let him notice someone else.
But I think maybe
your head down, it means don't ask questions in class.
Yeah. Maybe we've been disempowered. I think maybe because of seeing these politicians pass on their status to their own children, we think that is the model.
Yes.
We think the model is don't raise your child, just open doors for the child, and instruct
Yes.
the child to walk through.
Yes.
But who wants a son like Mama Ngena's? Me, I don't.
I mean, and we at getting there, and once you are in there, in fact, the first thing you start saying, you are so lucky to be there, so don't rock the boat. Someone sexually harassing you, Etulia. Someone's bullying you, Etulia. You are lucky to be in there. You are so lucky to be in there. You are lucky to be in parliament. So if there's sexual harassment during these trips abroad, you
Tulia.
That's what happened. That's how you get ahead. Once you that's how you get ahead. Don't worry, it will pass. Soon you will be the minister. Tulia. And our society, not just our political sector, but even our entire society, punishes speaking up ruthlessly. They punish that. And even now, some of these, like this former senator Gloria Roba, the people say, yeah, she was such an opportunity. What a kelele mingi, you are a senator, you are earning money. Now look, she's lost her seat.
Yani, we've glorified position and money over integrity.
Yeah,
I think I just reviewed Dr. Nyairo's book, and that's what she says.
yes.
That our narratives of success in Kenya are just education and money. That's it.
And recently, there's been a lot of talk about this ridiculous dancing on stage of women politicians. And I remember having a conversation because recently, Pastor recently, Phoebe
Asio.
I said, this Kina Phoebe never used to dance on stage. When did now part of being a woman leader include dancing on stage? Kina Phoebe never used to dance. Kina Grace Onyango, they never used to dance. Kina Wangari Maathai never used to dance. When now did dancing on stage become part of being a woman leader? Because it is right now. And the same women leaders are the ones who try to smooth this over, that is like it's not a problem. It's my choice whether to dance or not. No, you dance in a club. You can dance in a club, dance in weddings, dance at parties, dance at birthdays, not on stage in a political rally. Why are you dancing on stage? That's our narrative of success is so messed up. It's so messed up. And I mean, the things we are talking about are only the tip of the iceberg that we see on TV and in the public domain. Can you imagine what's going on behind closed doors, where we don't see? That's the trouble we are in.
So it has even infiltrated parenting. Wow.
Yes, it has.
And I keep telling parents, there's no manual here. You have to be politicized.
And
if you cannot understand society, there's no manual you will get.
There has never been a manual, and there will never be.
There will never be. Just become an adult. That's what, to be a parent, all you need to be is an adult.
Grow up. Just
grow up. That's it.
Because there's no worse disaster than your child growing up and you are not grown up.
And you're not growing up.
You are trying to win a child and you are circling a bottle. It's nonsense.
Hey, man.
And you just have to grow up.
And imagine, hey, Ogada, the things I am seeing among students, it's a growing up problem.
It's a growing up. I mean, even online, I'm telling you, online, I am seeing arguments online, especially former students, because I went to Nairobi school. I see arguments online, people arguing about we should remove him from the list of our high school class WhatsApp group because watu wamekosana. Who gives a crap? We are in our 40s and 50s, and people are talking about the class school issues, high school, when we were children. How are these people talking about old Cambrian, this, that, the other, going to raise? We should be moving from that list.
By the way, those high schools, that's the other thing. In Kenya, high school stalls our growth. Because why do people still talk about high school 40, 50 years after leaving?
Yes.
I've seen even old women wear their school uniform.
Imagine.
No. I left high school when? 40 plus years ago. I'm not going there.
Someone born when I left high school now has a kid in high school.
I'm not
Someone
going there.
born when I left high school has a kid in high school. And you see, you get on these groups and these forums, and people are even using the slangs we used to use as teenagers in those schools. You hear them.
Right.
I recently was on a forum. I'm on a forum, and I recently looked and I saw someone use the word moti. You know, we used to call cars moti.
I remember.
Moti. And you know, and it just struck me like time warp. Time warp. Grow up. Circling the bottle. People even these are the people who used to spend. They were always just doing this, that, the other in high school. And like, really, you first of all you remember, and then you think it's worth talking about in this day and age. And it's like, so what are your kids discussing when you are discussing high school? What are your kids talking about?
Yeah, actually. But I mean, sorry, Dr. Nyairo's book is in my head.
Yeah.
That's how ethnicity works. It freezes you somewhere.
Yes.
You're stuck there.
You're in a warp. You're in a warp. Whatever you do, you are a Luo. And Luos must do A, B, C, D, E. And
whoever defined that is some anthropologist.
It was a missionary.
A commissionary in 1865. He said, this is what Luos do. Now everybody must stay there.
Yes.
Over 100 years later.
Yes. I might be educated. I might have a PhD. I might be a senior military officer. I might be a general. You might
have won wars and negotiated peace agreements. Oh no.
But at the bottom line, you are what? You are a Luo, and you are supposed to be in this box, do this, that, or the other.
So even high school is the same. We are stuck there.
Yes, you're stuck there. At age, in your mid-50s,
Kenya has to change. No.
In your mid-50s, you're still defining
things. We cannot go on like this.
And I think this is why so many of our generation have these thick CVs. He's even got his high school in that CV. At this age, why should you have the high school in CV?
I don't even put my undergrad. Even my master's is not in my CV.
But those things. That's why people have thick CVs.
Like Magoha for 70 pages.
Yes. I'm sure even if he was school rugby captain, it's there.
Yeah. And then when my students get shocked because I try to help my students write their CVs, I tell them, now primary school, surely. You have you're getting a degree. Why are you writing your primary school? Even your high school one day should not be in this CV.
Yeah. 5-6 years post-graduation, you now drop that
high school. You can't even drop it when you got the degree. What are you telling people your high school for? Like for real?
Yeah. What for? And I've been on panels interviewing people for jobs, and you know they say, okay, can you bring your certificate to pass? And someone put these box files. I'm telling, and even the KCP certificate is there. Yes, his file is a box file, the hard ones. Meanwhile, what I'd be interested in is his tertiary education. That's all I care about. That's all I care about. But people do that. People do that, and it's still so.
Not only KCPAE, they come with their music festivals.
Yes.
Number one in public speaking when they're in Form 2.
Correct. Yes.
And this is a guy who is 45.
Yes. Yes. Science Congress. Certificate of participation. Why are you even laughing?
We have a serious maturity problem here.
We just have to grow up. That's why when I see anyone complain that these Gen Zs are doing this, I tell them, no. We are expecting them to grow up, and we are the ones circling the bottle.
Asking them, like when we are asking them, what next? You, a 45-year-old, you're asking a 22-year-old on the street.
In a rebuking tone. In a rebuking tone, you ask him, what next?
And you want an answer.
And you are 50, and you are then asking, and you are 50. You are 60. You're telling the youngsters to grow up, and you yourself are not, you are circling a bottle, you are a child. That is the problem.
This is so, hey.
If you cannot grow, you cannot nurture.
You cannot.
And that's why we find elders in their 80s hanging on to offices, blackening their hair, refusing to let go.
Celebrating the birth of their babies.
Yes. Refusing to let go of positions, saying you see incumbents talking of how they want to change this office or that office. He wants to change, and he himself has been in there. We are promising new things, and the person speaking is speaking from a position he has held for 30 years. People are grown up. When there's land being allocated somewhere, you find even 85-year-olds scrambling to get a piece. When are you going to live there? How many years did
How many years do you have?
You have. Land is being divided, 80, 90-year-olds are scrambling for a piece. How many of the huge buildings coming up in Nairobi are being built by 80, 85-year-olds?
Somebody who should be, thinking of his memoirs.
Yes. Our lives have no seasons
because the world.
Yes.
Yes.
Traveling the world.
Story to great-grandchildren.
Yeah. We have no seasons in life, because if you don't grow up, where does the seasons come from? We only have seasons because now I was a teenager, I'm a Peter, now I'm in my 20s, I'm past, and the 40s and all. Those are the seasons. But you have people, I see many people in their 50s still acting like, still sort of chasing objectives of the 20s and 30s.
Because what's happening, this war on maturity is invalidating our experiences, our stories, and our achievements, by the way.
Yes, and including achievements, yes.
Yes. So I wanted us to go to the last issue of food. We had this conversation.
Yeah.
Where, Ogada, there's too much food evangelism. I'm so tired.
Yes. The ideas of food and nutrition, it has moved away from being, if you eat well to be healthy, And it's also pleasure, because eating good food is also a pleasurable thing. And
Yeah.
it's also a social thing. We are sitting down to eat this nyama choma, this good food with my friends, so and so and so and so.
Mm.
To market. As in, we are eating what so and so wants to sell. You see, it's moved to what so and so wants to sell. So now, so and so wants to sell artificial sweeteners. You vilify sugar.
Oh.
You should not take sugar in your porridge, in your tea. You should not even eat sweet fruits, because sugar, you should not chew sugar cane, which we've been chewing since we were children.
Yeah.
Because sugar is bad. Suddenly sugar is poison. Artificial carbohydrates and all that. You vilify wheat. Suddenly gluten is this
Has
poison
become a
thing.
thing.
It's become a thing. Nobody was gluten intolerant when we were young. Even 30 years ago, nobody in Kenya was, everybody, people were saying gluten, this gluten, that gluten, that gluten. And it's like, eh? You vilify that. Suddenly, carbohydrates are bad. You should not eat carbs. I play sport, I do physical activity, etc., where my basic science, I know carbohydrates give energy.
Exactly.
So how do you want me to exist? But it's because someone has something to sell. Someone has something to sell. Don't eat
But
salt.
a lot of these evangelists, they also come with pseudo-spiritual.
Yes. Yes. In Kenya, always have the pseudo-spiritual thing, because I saw this, I first saw it when people saw, there's this thing called moringa.
Yeah.
People are selling that thing with pseudo-spiritual. It was like prayer group type thing. I wondered, what's this? In fact, that's what made me tell myself that I'm never going to touch this thing. It can't be good. It can't be good if they need to do this to push it. And the thing is, when did we stop listening to our bodies? There are days you feel, I am craving to eat some fruit. I need an orange. Eat the orange. Eat the apple. Eat the mango. There's a season when these wonderful mangoes are in season in Kenya, and they're everywhere.
Yeah.
Eat your mangoes. At that time, I'm eating no less than 3 per day. Eat your mangoes. The season will end. Then we'll eat pixies and we'll eat this, that, the other. But now we've been told this is bad. Don't eat this. Eat this. Eat this. Eat strawberries because they don't have sugar. A fruit that came to Kenya in our lifetimes. So what? Don't eat meat. And the problems they're having with meat abroad are because of not rearing them indoors with the drugs and all this kind of thing. But as we have free range meat here, and we are being told don't eat meat. Meat is bad for you, causes this, that, the other. Masai community would be extinct if meat was bad for you. We have been being told.
What is this bad thing? This very
I don't know.
Oh God, it's a horrible message.
Milk is bad for you. Milk is bad for you. Yet our community we've been drinking milk ever since we were children.
For centuries.
You even have now dairy products companies in Kenya making soy milk. The same company that's is making soy milk.
And how can you trust them to do that? Maybe it's just saying on the packet.
Yes. And then you go to place, you find soy milk is kept in the refrigerator with dairy products, like it will go bad. And it's this leaning towards so in love with the Western narratives. It's invalidation of everything we ate.
We know.
Everything we know, everything we grew up eating. People my age are now rejecting foods they ate all their lives because it's bad. Because it's bad. You grew up eating this thing. Now it's bad. And the worst thing is that we take that as a sign of success. I am now wealthy. I'm not of the class who drinks genuine milk. Me, I'm of the class of almond milk. And you see it. People do it. You go to Java and I want a latte with almond milk. Eh? Mimi sio wale wa ng'ombe. You know, it's a class thing. It's a class thing. The other day, even you see near Daystar University, there's that big billboard showing a very dark complexion lady like my complexion, and she's advertising sunblock, SPF 50. Yes.
Oh.
You see it near Daystar campus.
The melanin is not enough.
No. She's literally, her complexion is like mine on Ngong Road, Nairobi. But it's a class thing to invalidate your melanin. Invalidate your blackness.
Invalidate your experience, because if you're saying you've been eating these things since childhood and now you're being told stop it.
Yes.
What are you saying about all those years?
Yes. If it was bad, I would be dead or sick.
That is true.
That's the fact. That's the fact. But no, it's bad because now WHO guideline says FDA of US. FDA guideline says Have
they seen how sick Americans are?
I now see people feeding their growing children with plant-based milk. We know very well, I'm a biologist, so I know this physiology, calcium, bones, all that, but we are now giving them plant-based milk.
Because FDA said.
Yes, and we are now giving them calcium supplement tablets because we are giving them plant-based milk.
Oh.
We are not giving them mangoes because mangoes have too much sugar, but now we are giving them vitamin C tablets to replace the mangoes. So it's
this is a psychosis.
It's such a deep psychosis. Right. I don't know even how to start.
It's not right.
I used to make a ruckus about when I'd see people doing it, but then this day I just said, drink your whatever.
It's a self-negation, eh?
It's a self-negation. It's a self-negation. And you're telling me now, the way I'm so in love with the tea, and never in my life ever drank black tea. So if you now tell me milk is bad now, sorry, it's too late. I won't stop drinking milk. And the fact is, because of our lives, we ate everything in moderation. Even those mangoes we talk about, there's a season. It's like 2-month season, then they're gone. We're on to the next fruit.
That's how nature regulates.
That's how nature regulates. Even this managu, these vegetables, when the rain comes, they're everywhere. Then the rains disappear, they're gone. They're gone. That's our reality.
And then you see, if you follow the seasons, then even your body starts to follow the seasons.
Yes. Soybean, we never even had soy in Africa. We never had that soy here. Almonds, we never had almonds here. Now suddenly, we drink almond milk. I don't even know how. Maybe it's by crushing them. I don't know how it's produced, but like, these are artificial foods. Completely artificial, does not exist in nature. Almonds exist, but as nuts. That's where we are. But it's to show class, it's aspirational. You aspire to drink this white paint they call almond milk. You aspire to use sunblock. You aspire to use sugar substitutes.
In fact, the class thing is okay for me. The issue is the antagonism to reality. That because you're fighting against yourself and against your reality using your body.
Yes. Yes.
And people,
Yes. You reach age 40 and suddenly it's anathema to eat something that you've eaten for the last 35 years. You are negating the fact that you enjoyed eating that, you are energetic, you are healthy, playing football, running up and down while eating that. But now it's bad. In 2025 now it's bad. And you should not eat it.
It's the philosophy of change, because even CBC, see, that's what it was. You just keep on doing these grand disruptions. You break everything and tell people start again.
Yes.
And people are finding this normal.
And when they settle,
I'm not giving up anything from my childhood.
Yeah.
Too late.
And when they settle down in this lifestyle, you come and disrupt it again.
Pap.
Demolish it. Now you should do this. Because like CBC, you see 844, no system is perfect, wasn't it? But we had gotten to a point we were making it work for us.
Yeah.
We had known how to negotiate it and all that, and it was doing for us what we needed it to do. It's like you have a car which is old and maybe you have to tap the battery before you start it and all that, but it's working. It's getting you to Nanyuki and coming back. Then one day comes and demolishes this car. Now you need to use this one.
That's violence.
It's violence, continuous violence. And they're doing that with food, education, energy,
parenting.
As in parenting, energy sources as in the electric versus fossil fuels, etc. Those things. In agriculture, they keep coming, new crops. There's this new crop, this new flower, this new grain. And it's the same thing even with veterinary drugs, because I regularly buy veterinary drugs, like for my chickens and all these things, and even for my pets. You go this month, no, that one is no longer on the market. I'm telling you, now there's a new one. No, we are no longer selling that one. Now there's a new one. And
even tech, people were saying, even like the phones, they don't really fundamentally improve. No. You're just being added for more and more apps and more business.
More apps.
But you can't get the old one that was working 3 years ago. You can't get it.
The one that you knew how to use and you now had fitted into your business or your lifestyle.
Yes.
And now you have a phone which updates itself. I've just known how to use it nicely, then it's suddenly updated. Things have changed, operating system have changed. It's continuous violence. Don't let people settle down and get comfortable enough to think.
Exactly, yes.
Don't let people get comfortable enough to think, because we want them like on a treadmill. Keep them running. Don't let them rest. When they rest, they start thinking, they start questioning. They start getting politically conscious. You are too busy to learning how to use the new phone to actually communicate with that new phone. It's continuous violence. Yeah.
It is. It's a lot of violence. Wow.
And that's the form of rebellion that's happening with the young, that they're starting to say, I don't care. And that's why you see people our generation saying, what's wrong with these Gen Zs? Because they've started saying, no, me, I don't care. I don't want to do that. They're starting to reject the palace. And we are asking them, tell me, where do you want to go and live? It is saying, I'll make my tent.
Because at least the tent is mine. I know
it's mine.
It.
Yes,
I know. I made it with my own hands.
Yeah. You are saying,
but
it's
you're
small,
telling me I must get a palace from abroad from somebody I don't even know.
I have to come and live in this palace that belongs to so and so as a tenant. Me, I'll stay in my tent. It's small, but I know I'll manage in there. That's they're booking their spaces. As we are still in the palace of Nairobi School, we're still in the palace of I don't know which university, the palace of IMF, the palace of Carrie Francis, the palace of this church, of this political party, the palace of this tribe. These are prisons. They're not palaces.
This has been a very this has been a very
It's exhausting. It's exhausting to even think about.
Yeah. But we are not in a good place.
No,
we need some healing. This is a spiritual problem we have.
We need cleansing.
Yeah. And I don't, oh dear.
That's why my hope is always on the attrition. I say, our group, we are going to go old and decrepit and die. And these ones in their tents will come up. But those of us of our generation who can see what's wrong, we will be fine. As we just inform them, those who want to take up what we are saying, great. Those who don't want to, it's okay. We were just informing you, it's coming.
Yeah.
It's coming. Corruption got to a point it feeds on itself. AI has gotten to a point it's feeding on itself. So this system is, the palace is collapsing. It will cannibalize itself and collapse under its own contradictions, as so much else has.
I hope the next generation will not make the mistake we did, which is to ignore the intellectual, moral, spiritual, philosophical side of life, because that has been our problem. We decided that the material is in everything.
Is what matters.
Yeah. And it has let us down so badly.
Yeah. I hope they keep the ruins of the palace intact to remind them. Like there's that building in Hiroshima that survived the atomic bomb that they use as a memorial. Let them keep these ruins in place so that we remember.
That's exactly what Yvonne says in that article.
Yeah.
She says, you look at those ruins so that you can understand what happened.
Yeah. They keep them like Fort Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the Gedi ruins. They know there was something here.
Hey, thank you so much. This has been
most welcome. It's been great.
This has been a good conversation even for me. As you know, I have some particular challenges. So it kind of grounds me to know what is going on. I mean, just to remember what's important.
Yeah, it's cathartic to realize that.
Yeah.
The worst thing about this system is that it makes you think you have a problem.
Yes. And the problem is not us.
The system. Yeah, the problem. The problem is this palace. Yeah.
And maybe one day we'll have to have a conversation about, or I don't know that it's conversation about or lessons in, because maybe there are some Kenyans who don't know how to see the system. Maybe they don't know. I don't know. I'm the teacher. I keep on saying there's hope. People can be taught.
Yeah, but the aggression comes from knowing the system. Yani, as we are saying, they're suckling from a dead carcass.
Yeah.
But when you tell them that, they accuse you are the one killing the mother. Because they in their minds it's alive. My father made billions from this system, and now you're telling me it's dead. Yet my father made billions from it.
Yeah, that's kind of hard to understand.
Yeah. So hopefully they learn, but we'll keep putting out the building blocks for them to build themselves. And those who want to use the building blocks, we'll keep welcoming them to do so. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much.
Yeah, most welcome. Thank you. It's my pleasure.